Hi guys, today I wanted to have a really quick chat with you about online journal rankings. This is a topic that comes up in a bunch of different contexts, but it comes up most often for people who are looking to write and publish an academic article and they're looking for information about where they should send it. And a really big factor that comes in there is, well, which journals are considered by the profession to be the best journals, the most highly ranked one. We would like to publish in a journal that's higher ranked or perceived as being higher quality than one that's perceived as being lower quality. And often people are going to use online journal rankings to give some indication of, where those journals stand. Now, this topic is controversial, right? Because any attempt to give a ranking, a list of these are the best journals, these are not the best journals, it's going to be subjective. Often you take a bunch of academics and you ask them which are the best journals and then you make a list on that basis. Now, obviously that's not very scientific, not very objective. People might be doing the rankings based on various biases that they've picked up over the years, but it does tell you something. Even with all of those things factored in, it's important that we understand what journal rankings are good for and what they're not good for. Okay, so let's jump into that right now. The people who will be evaluating your paper, the referees, they will have in mind a standard based on where they're refereeing for, right? If I am asked to referee a paper for Phil Review, that is probably like the number one ranked philosophy journal, I've got in my head when I'm reading the paper really top standards. I'm thinking this paper should be absolutely excellent for me to recommend, yet accept it. If on the other hand, I'm refereeing for a paper like Synthese, let's say, it's still a good journal, but it's not absolutely top notch. So I've got recalibrated expectations in my head. I'm kind of thinking, okay, is this a good paper? Does it make a good, interesting argument that lots of philosophers are going to read? Rather than asking, is this an absolutely exceptional paper? So journal rankings do tell you something informative about the expectations that referees are likely to have. Before we go any further, I just want to jump in here and say if you're enjoying this content and you want to help me out by supporting the channel, go and take a look at my Ko-Fi page, see what we've got there and see ways in which you can help me out. It also tells you something about how valuable to you having that publication would be in the minds of other philosophers, like the kind of people who might be making job decisions, right? So if you're applying for a research job, a lot of that will be based on what's on your CV. And it's not just the number of publications you've got, it's where they're published. So somebody who's looking at your CV and trying to decide, is this the person we want for this job opening, might look at where you've published papers, and they might have in their mind something like one of those online journal evaluation rankings type things. So if you've got papers and they're published in like Phil Review, chances are some of those people looking at your CV will go, wow, this person publishes in really good journals. If on the other hand, you've got a whole bunch of papers, but none of them tend to appear in the top, like let's say 20 journals of those online journal rankings, that's not to say that they're bad journals or that they are bad papers that you've published. It's just that the people evaluating your CV might be, I'm not sure that these are quality papers. I mean, they're not going to go and read all your papers. So yeah, you've got to factor those kind of things in mind. Online journal rankings might not be wholly objective or scientific or anything like that. They might be really problematic things, but they do tell you something both about potential referees and potential job applications. There is so much more to say about writing and publishing an academic journal article. I haven't really talked much here about the actual writing process, what that should look like, the kind of things you want to go and think through. So if you want to hear a bit more about that, go and take a look at this video over here. Thanks to all my Ko-Fi supporters for making this content possible. Thanks to you for watching this far. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you back here on Attic Philosophy soon.